It's Friday edition. Welcome to Breakfast Central on News Central Television. It feels really good to be here. We've been doing this from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and now it's a Friday. My name is Joe Hansen, and I want to thank you especially and most importantly for always sticking with us and ensuring that you will be here from 7 all the way to 10 a.m. to get nothing but the best and the latest in news and current affairs analysis as we bring experts to break down some of the biggest stories and speak to who is who, especially those involved in some of the key stories making the headlines. Well, like I said, today's Friday, and what are we expected to actually look into? So much. Most importantly, Osun State is in focus here in Nigeria. If you look all over, every single place, you'll find that Osun State is dominating the headlines and everyone is talking about it. Today's Friday edition is going to be partly dedicated to us looking into the Osun State issues ahead of the all-important Gubo election. And not forgetting, too, there's been issues back and forth, issues concerning insecurity, concerning fighting, concerning senators and people making very threatening and intimidating comments about those who are coming to vote and those who will be voting, those who will be monitoring the elections, and a lot more. My name is Joe Hansen, by the way, and I'm not alone. In the course of our programming, of course, I will be looking into some of the very interesting conversations we look to have. Don't forget, we're streaming live on all socials, especially on YouTube. That's where we take our comments from. So head on to YouTube right now and feel free to tell a friend to tune in and drop a comment or two on some of the major stories we'll be having today. Olive will not be on seat this morning, of course, definitely under the weather. Besides that, special assignment is also in the offing. Plus, we have our own reporters who will be crisscrossing and joining us in the meantime for all of the conversations we're set to have. Don't forget that campaigns have definitely come to a close as electorates are getting set and prepared to make a choice in Osun State. Now, let's move on to some of the very interesting stories we'll be looking into on Wake Up Conversations. But before we do, let me quickly say hello to our regular viewers, especially those on YouTube. Let's start off first with what may have happened all through the night, or better still, from yesterday up until today, just in case you missed out on some of the big stories. Now, what may have happened is that a popular musician, singer, and nephew to the Osun State governor, I'm talking about Davido, has been blowing hot on social media. But not just that, members of the Accord Party have equally been doing so. There are statements around when the election materials would arrive. Of course, it arrived late at night, taken to the CBN office, and residents were worried that why would it arrive at late in the wee hours of the night? That's another conversation we'll look to have. There's also the conversation around the senator who have threatened and told the community members and, of course, followers of the All Progressives Congress to do what they can do to unalive, yes, unalive party members of the Accord Party, even though he was invited by the Nigerian police force. The courts have eventually stepped in. The court has said that they've given the police force 2 weeks max to ensure that they are done with the investigations and carry on with the verdict on what they want to do concerning the senator. Is 2 weeks enough? Do you think 2 weeks will actually solve all the problems? Or 2 weeks is barely too much for Nigerians to wait to see what the police force will do? Aside from the 2 weeks, the courts are indeed saying that they're waiting. Don't forget that yesterday we also mentioned here on Breakfast Central that you do have a few persons who are aggrieved, and a cross-section of Nigerians, like maybe yourself, you may be part of them, are not happy with the statement that was made. As if that was not enough, while he made that statement, you also had another political ally who equally made something similar, a statement calling on members of the All Progressives to ensure that they deal with those who come out to vote tomorrow if they are not voting for the APC. How many thousand policemen will be able to secure and make this particular election safe? All eyes are on Osun State, and that's exactly what we'll be looking at. So many angles to discuss, so many angles to look into, and so many conversations to have regarding the Osun State elections. But then again, let's start off the show with our wake-up conversation. Before we come back to Osun State, let's take you to Edo State this morning. Edo State's domestic debt has risen sharply under Governor Monday Okpebholo, climbing from 113 billion naira at the end of 2024 to 172.37 billion naira by March 2026. So take note, 113 all the way to 172.37 billion naira, not million, billion naira by March 2026. And Edo has now moved to 12th, from 12th rather to 6th among Nigeria's most indebted states. Take note, Edo was at number 12. Now Edo has moved to 6th among Nigeria's most indebted states, according to the latest data from the DMO, the Debt Management Office. Now, this increase follows a period of declining debt in 2025, when Edo's domestic debt fell from 113 billion. Okay, it fell from 113 billion, especially when you look at it from that time in December 2024 to 76.13 billion naira by September 2025, before rising again to 91.18 billion at the end of the year. The latest DMO, the domestic debt data for the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, shows that the debt increased by 81.19 billion naira between December 2025 and March 2026 alone. Now, that represents 89% increase in just 3 months, placing Edo 6th in the domestic debt ranking by the 31st of March. Questions arise. Why is Edo State rising to become the 6th most indebted state here in Nigeria? And the people of Edo are asking questions. They're saying, where are the roads? Because there are videos circulating online showing how bad and poor the state of infrastructure is when it comes to road networks in Edo State. But wait. That's not all. Wait. We were also told that the federal allocation is now bigger, fatter, heavier, because the money saved from subsidy has been spread across all the 36 states, and all governors have more money. So the people of Edo are asking, not me. And they're saying, why is it that the governor is owing or having so much money, and yet we're in debt? What is going on? How did we rise from 12th and go all the way up to 6th position? Is it possible, if you may ask? But let's not get shocked. But let's see why this may be so. Do you recall that the Edo State governor just this week said he was going to appoint over 4,800 special advisors? Yeah. And when asked, from his office, they said, what is your business? After all, we can choose what we want to do with taxpayers' money. Oh, yes, that was said. And the response was quite shocking, especially from a pushback coming from both the office of the governor and that of Nigerians, who kept asking, who does that? 1,000 or 4,000? Not even 100, not even 5? It is still in Nigeria that we've seen governors who have appointed SAs to handle social media. Not just one. It's fair to handle social media, but we've seen special SAs who handle different social media accounts. There's SA for Instagram. There's SA for Twitter. There's SA for X. Why do you call them SAs? Just make sure that you have an office of digital media and let them just be employed to handle that. But oftentimes we do not see that. So it's a lot of problem, and people are asking questions, wondering, when will this end? How is it possible that a governor who recently went to Osun State, chastised, criticized, and went ahead to do all he can to make clear a statement that the governor of Osun State is just a dancer, a Michael Jackson in the making. Of course, he has Jackson in his name. And that whenever he dances, he loses out in joining the Federal Executive Council meeting, or where the governors are meeting, because he would dance before he gets into the flight. He would dance before he highlights from the aircraft. He would dance before he signs a paper or a document. He would dance before he does everything, and hence why he needs to leave that seat in Osun State. But here we go. Now, the governor of Edo State, who made all those statements in the video, has now risen to number 6 when it comes to debt profile, especially from all states in Nigeria. This is actually from the DMO. Well, Benga Borowa joins me this morning. Benga, I had to take time to explain all of that. Good morning. Welcome to breakfast.
Good morning, Joe. Great to have you this morning. The enemies were trying not to make me available, but yes.
You passed them.
I passed them, exactly. My village people are strong.
It's good. It's good to have you.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I'm glad the weekend is here. So all of us, all 3 of us, can take time out to, refuel, rest, and prepare for the week ahead. And the week ahead is going to start with good news, hopefully, following the all-important elections and very most anticipated elections in Osun State tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So we're hoping for good news. We're hoping the way things have been building up will not turn out to be what many have tended to be, let's just pray it's violence-free, that's all.
What's your take on Edo State, as I just highlighted?
I mean, Debt Management Office saying they're the 6th most indebted state in Nigeria. There's nothing, everybody takes loans. It depends on what you're using the loan for. So it's not the loans that are bad in itself, but it's the state of infrastructure in the state. Because even earlier this week, I saw a couple of social media content creators. They were raising alarm and pointing the attention of the governor to certain roads in the state and in a dilapidated state. So if you can't fix major highways that are causing serious loss of productive time to your citizens, and all you do is point fingers at other states, then you haven't done a great job as a governor. But he's also done a few works. We've seen him inspecting projects. He was working in the gutter. He was working on land. It was the only thing I didn't see him work on was sea, and he has this retinue of hype men that, hail him wherever he's going, that spurs him. Maybe it's a way of encouraging him to do more. But much is demanded from citizens of Edo State. And I understand political jabs between him and the governor of Osun State. As a party man, you want to have fellow governors or more governors belong to your state. So it's all politics and political rhetorics. At the end of the day, what the people want, they don't want to be caught in that Nollywood drama, or he said this, she said this. It's all juvenile gossip. Get down to work and please do what the people elected you to do. That's all. That's the most important factor. Change their lives positively.
Well said, Benga. Just to remind our viewers as well that, just like I mentioned, the Edo State governor had given the approval of appointment of 4,800 special assistants. 4,800 special assistants. Now, the reason they say is that these 4,800 special assistants will be appointed this month. They will actually be spread across 192 electoral wards in 18 local government areas. 192, 18 local government areas, each will have 25. So if you calculate 192 times 25, you know where you're going to. Each would have 25 special assistants.
How do you even, are you just employing people for the sake of employment? And why don't you just direct them into the civil service, Edo State civil service, spread them across ministries? Because how do you have 4,800 portfolios? You run out of appointment letters. What are you appointing them for? Break it down for us.
Let's even
let the people understand what their roles and responsibilities would be. Or are you just, keeping the boys happy, something for the boys, just to keep them busy?
Yeah, I mean, he said that the large number, the party members worked collectively for the electoral victory. He defended the large number, saying they worked collectively for the electoral victory. So with your last statement, it barely looks like that you're rewarding people for what they had done. But let's do a quick calculation and see how much this would have on the purse of the state. If you say 25 persons per ward, 192, okay, and that 25 persons per ward, let's say you're paying them 500,000 naira. That comes to about 12.5 million.
So you're further ballooning the state wage bill. This is a state that is the 6th most indebted in the country.
So you see where the debt will
And the only driving force behind this, according to the governor, is, we're trying to get governors down to the grassroots. And, employ people, reward them for political patronage with taxpayers' funds. I mean, the taxpayers of Edo State are not just APC members. They belong to all parties, and Edo State belongs to everyone. So if you're using this as a reward system, you're setting bad precedents. Monies that could be used to benefit the entire populace is only reserved for this 4,800 people. What makes them special? And how are they special assistants? So these are questions that are begging for answers, and I guess
just a rough calculation
will be in a better position to answer.
Yeah, but let's see what Nigerians are definitely saying about this move, especially Edo State becoming 6th most indebted state in Nigeria. Let's see what Nigerians are saying, reacting to the story. We'll go on X and also on YouTube, but first, let's go on X. Onion says, Edo State is now 6th most indebted state in Nigeria, and Okpebholo is treating it like a badge of honor. Every governor before him tried to hide debt behind development. He skipped the pretense entirely, straight from Government House to the Debtors Hall of Fame. No data through actual roads or hospitals. And he goes on to say that Nigerians keep asking where the money went. Wrong question. That's what he says. Very wrong question. Ask where it's going, because he goes on to say, okay, I'm trying to see, sorry, we're having a little challenge here, because a treasury this comfortable borrowing isn't funding Edo. Where borrowing isn't funding Edo, it's funding somebody's imagination. Meanwhile, the state's infrastructure looks exactly the way it did before all this borrowing started. It goes on to say, proof that the debt above doesn't actually build bridges. It just builds new bank accounts. Edo didn't get poorer by accident. Some people worked overtime for this outcome, and the results are billed to everyone else. That's a sad one. Let's see another X comment there. Everyone reacting to the fact that Edo has risen to 6th most indebted state in Nigeria. Do we have another comment very quickly? Okay, Ngaza says, where is all that money going? Well, that's a question that we're asking. Ifeanyi Sofo says, meanwhile, he is gallivanting in Osun State. The people on X are not happy. Auntie Agbado, what kind of name is that? Says the painful part is that if you write down the total amount Edo State has borrowed in 2 years, probably can't even. This is below the belt. Okay, this is below the belt. I think we should focus on the issue.
Personal attack. Yes.
Focus on the issue, please. Akenabo says, as long as he cannot. Why are they after the governor's? From the last challenge he had back then. Anyway. Let's move on to YouTube and see what YouTube is saying this morning. Good morning, the crew. Olive, take care of yourself and get enough rest. 2 weeks is too much. What more investigation are they taking that every eyes and ears could hear when he said outside, not even in a closet? That's talking about Senator Fadaosi. The court has given the police 2 weeks to ensure they come out with a result. And Governor Adeleke will dismantle federal might tomorrow. My prayers are with the good people of Osun State. He says APC, we're not going to take that. He has used the debt to buy houses for himself and his goons abroad. When they carry world-renowned put for government house, what do you expect? An extremely, okay, your comments are really deep. I'm sorry, we can't take that. I thought his daddy, the president, is giving him more money. The man, like everything APC, goes on to say he's a misfit for position he holds. We are in the dark times. That's coming from Moke Chukwemeka. Frank Obute says APC is a menace to Nigeria. Well, that's your thoughts, your opinion. Osa says, I just want to remind Nigerians who are quick to say that young people aren't patriotic. Patriotism is holding a senator accountable for hate speech. It is investigating the death of a Nigerian woman. He goes on to say, who died in the home of a minister, rather than waiting for the minister to dictate the process. And it is conducting free and fair elections. That is what the world uses to rate countries, not... okay, your comments are not complete. I'm trying to look for the complete one. Not the comments people drop on social media. Federal government to be patriotic. The world is watching. He says, Tayo Dada says, where did you guys keep our Olive? Don't let her go to Osun this time, Obiko. We're actually sending Olive
yes.
to Osun State, one way or the other. Are the 4,800 plus captured in the budget? And in what way are they assisting him to become... Edo people, take back your state from okay. These comments are not friendly at all. They're not air-friendly or airworthy. The government will retrogress Edo State hugely inside Benin City, the state capital. Almost all the roads are not motorable. No work is ongoing apart from the 2 flyovers he's building. Benga, didn't the president say that...
well, it's too late.
It should focus on the people rather than building bridges.
By the time Mr. President made that statement, that bridge
it was
had
too
already
late.
become a world-renowned tourist attraction. So
the bridge
it's almost
built, and they
completed.
blocked it.
Yes.
School students, pupils went there.
Let's also not forget that he's promising Mr. President 2.5 million votes.
Wow.
He's been promising him those 2.5 million votes.
Benga, wait.
Since the next day he was sworn in.
Wait, are you... Are you 4,800 essays? And you promised President
2.5 million votes. There's still a huge gap. How are those essays going to be converted to 2.5 million votes?
Benga, let's move to our next story. You don't... Our next story takes us to Osun State. Osun State prepares for its governorship polls, and I'm sure you're aware tensions are rising across the political landscape in Ifewara. Honorable Batunde Komolafe Festus, the APC House of Assembly candidate for Atakumusa East West local government, has reportedly been apprehended, allegedly by Nigerian Navy personnel, while allegedly in possession of a firearm. This incident has fueled concerns about the prevalence of weapons and the potential for violence during the elections. Adding to the controversy, a viral video has also emerged showing APC officials distributing money to members of the Muslim community in Osun, sparking accusations of vote buying and raising questions about the integrity of the process. Popular musician Davido has also raised alarm over the presence of the Ebonyi State INEC resident electoral commissioner in Osun, despite not being officially deployed there, a development that has heightened suspicion about transparency in electoral management. The Osun State government has also dragged the Inspector General of Police and the Commissioner of Police to court over comments made regarding the killing of Senator Fadausi, accusing him of prejudice and political bias. Meanwhile, former Chief of Defense Staff General Lucky Irabo spoke yesterday. He has called for the arrest of the man you see there on the screen wearing white, and also the arrest of the Islamic cleric Sheikh Gumi, not forgetting to the arrest of Sheikh Jinga over what he described as insightful remarks, underscoring the broader security concerns surrounding the polls. The question is, will these arrests be carried out? Benga, what do you make of, let's start with Senator Irabo, from down going up?
I mean, General Leo's Irabo was a fantastic professional soldier and officer. When he was Chief of Defense Staff of Nigeria, and he's not one to speak to the press loosely or all the time. And for him to say this, he has studied the political climate and he understands, looking at his background, he understands how damaging some of these insightful statements could be. And I'm sure he understands the history of Nigeria and what this sort of things have led to in the past. And to all discerning and, right-thinking Nigerians would rightly condemn some of these inflammatory statements that has been made, not just by Senator Faraosi, but by Sheikh Gumi and others. And if we had a working system that did not look to the direction of some political leaders in order for them to take action, if they followed through their enabling acts of parliament, if they followed through the code of conduct of their institutions, the job description, you wouldn't need any president or any senior government official to give you the marching order to do your job, because even to primary school students, that this is inciting violence, especially in an environment where, tempers are flaring and the tension is heightened. To do the right thing, and the right thing is to, set an example so that in elections that are coming up in the future, the almighty 2027 presidential elections are just a few months away. And if you allow this to go free, it's going to enable and set a precedent for more inflammatory statements that people will, act on. So it has all the potential to cause chaos and breach of peace in the nation. So I definitely agree 100% with General Locke here about that. These individuals should be made an example of. They should be arrested. It's not just questioning. There's evidence. They made these statements on camera. And if you don't make an example of them, then we'll continue to have this sort of incidents until there's a breach of peace and breakdown in law and order. So it's a responsible thing to do. And this is an appeal to security agencies to wake up to their responsibilities and do what they were constitutionally required to do, and not wait for someone to give you the political marching order, as it seems to be the case in many situations.
I was mentioning this very quickly, that the video you also see there on the screen is very disturbing. But let's watch this footage. Let's watch this video. So in what aspect of Nigeria's Electoral Act do we peg this video we just saw?
Or the CBN Act also.
Or the CBN Act, where cash is being given. And it's been there before. Back in the days, they used to hide.
It's now so brazen.
But now there's a full ceremony, a full-fledged ceremony. That's, and everyone, you can see what everyone is wearing. If you notice, they put on a shirt. And many have tagged that shirt to be the candidate shirt around. This is not a religious outing. This is a political outreach. But what is the terms? Yesterday and 2 days ago, we also shared the video of those who had you need to show your membership card before you get that small size bag of rice.
I also saw 1,000 naira and salt. And
salt, yes. Yes,
it's heartbreaking. This is the same western region of Obafemi Awolowo, very brilliant statesman, erudite, where people used to have debates, and people would look back at his achievements in the western region of Nigeria, free education, the schools and the institutions is set up that are still in existence and living after him. To see the same people generations later being reduced to salt and 1,000 naira, it's dehumanizing. It is. And I I mean, I stand to be corrected. I'm not sure if there's any other place in this world where people are openly distributing cash in this manner for electoral purposes. It's a shame. It makes democracy a mockery. This is cash and carry democracy. Why do we even bother?
I like that word.
Yeah, it goes to the highest bidder. Who will pay me more? So it's no longer about, and by the time you've made money so important that it's an investment, because they get there, they will try and recoup the money they spent on elections. Because look, that's a huge amount of money.
And much cash on the table.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
Where there's
Nigeria is not a banana republic.
Banditry, there's kidnapping.
There are rules
is the CBN
and
sleeping?
Procedures that govern us. Is the CBN sleeping? Where in this world is this allowed? We've seen the EFCC Act summon people for monies that are even less than
Why
this.
is EFCC quiet? The EFCC has been so quiet.
I mean, they've deployed personnel to Osun State. Why are they not acting? Why are they not acting on this?
Exactly. Why have they not? So you see, the problem we have, oftentimes when people hear us on television, especially, I have a friend of mine who says, "Oh, you guys always highlight." And the one thing you need to understand here as well is the problem you have is journalists at a certain point. I mean, let's forget about the journalists who are, partisan. We don't care. There's nothing concerns us, whether you are a political party A, B, or C. What we follow, especially here on News Central, we always say it is we follow what the principles and the law and the tenets of the law says. If you have a law, our question is, it doesn't matter whether it's APC, LP, we don't care. What is happening to the law? That's why this morning we're saying, where's the EFCC? 2 days ago, we're saying, where's the DSS? A sheikh just said something. Where is he? Because why? As journalists, Benga, will come here and will highlight the good deeds that these agencies have done. It's also fair to highlight where they are missing out. At the same time, as journalists,
point them in the right direction.
Exactly. We also come out here to highlight some of the things that they themselves put in the law, and is being broken by one who is not affiliated to power or any party, and we see how swiftly they act. But when it comes to one who's affiliated to power or a political party, there's an alignment, all of a sudden the agency grows cold, quiet, and silent, having just like a little puppy trying to run away from being poured hot water,
that they didn't see it,
turning a blind eye. So we're asking again this morning, the CBN, the EFCC, what's happening there? It doesn't matter whether it's whatever party. The point is, what is happening? How can people put so much money on the table and doling it out in pretense, hiding under the context of, oh, we're doing an outreach? But it's not.
I mean, it's abuse of Naira, and we've seen the EFCC act swiftly on less brazen incidents. But let's take a look at what Nigerians are saying with regards to this stories. Olariwaju says, this is a show of shame where some people seems bigger than the law. Even the commissioner who's supposed to stop this act does not care. My conclusion is that the law is what they say it is, not what the law really is.
Benga, I think we can pause on this. This is just what I just said now, not knowing that we have a tweet like this. This is it. The law, and I'm going to say, like some experts have said, there are two types of laws in Nigeria. The one that applies to the poor and the one that applies to the rich.
Or
Same
the one
law.
that applies to the connected.
Rich, connected, those who have power and so on. Same law, but different applications.
Let's move to the next tweet. Pastor George says, Nigeria's elections are now being sold on the street like akara and kulikuli, God have mercy. Yes, this is what politicians have reduced it to. It's cash and carry democracy. Oluchunwosu says, red alert, all eyes on Pauline Ugonyeka. I guess this has nothing to do with what we're discussing. Babatunde Notraji says, hopefully, at the end of the day, they will allow the will of the people to prevail. Until then, fingers crossed, it's going to be a long road to freedom. Nigerians brace up for 2027, says I mean, you can see the sound of that. I mean, you can feel the emotions, hopefully. So it's not even guaranteed that we'll have free and fair elections. I mean, hopefully.
The United States had a build-up to its election. And I remember we covered that here. I was privileged, myself and Felicity, and we did a coverage, and myself and I think Judith, I beg your pardon. And we could tell, as build-up to the elections, you could see how the Americans, everything was smooth and easy. People know, they trust the electoral system, that what you put there is what you get. Call it what you may. Experts have come here, well, not all, some or a few, minute, have said, oh, yes, the US election is also porous. There are cases of, even if we can say it is not 99%, it could be 1%. And of course, if you doubt me, go online and check the data and the statistics. It's minute. But what we see here, the giants of Africa, which oftentimes, I mean, you ask yourself, it's shameful.
Even before the elections, where are people being killed?
Why are the people, are we at a war? Are we at war? Big questions. Anyway, stick around today. Breakfast Central, we have our reporters will be swinging in as usual. They are live in Osun State. We're covering every nook and cranny from started on Monday. If you follow through on Breakfast Central and all our news programming, you'll find out that we've been giving you up-to-date analysis, breakdown, latest stories, breaking news coming from Osun State. But now let's bring to you our top stories what we're looking at today on Breakfast Central.